I would use the Minitab because if you look at, for example, MBA programs in the US, about 1/3 of the programs use Minitab, another 1/3 of the program use Excel, and then the other 1/3 of the program does not use much computer. But if you look at those scores which use the Minitab versus Excel, ranking of the scores which use the Minitab is tend to be higher than, okay? So go figure. But anyway, so, and then we're doing simple things, so you just click simple and okay. Then it's asking what's gonna be Y variable and what's gonna be X variable. So I said this thing is my Y variable, weight is gonna be my X variable, right? Y is not the other way around, Mike?
It would show.
Huh?
It would show opposite. And that's your independent variables, your weight.
Right. You know, if you think about it, weight is going to affect the efficiency, right? Rather than efficiency is affecting the mile. Weight, right? So the mile per gallon is Y weight. But you can do this thing using Excel, and you're familiar with how to do it, all of that. So I'm just going to show you this for a change. Besides, oops. And then you don't really need an option or scale. That just plot the data, and you will see this. Okay? Then what kind of relationship? Linear, kind of linear and then negative, right? Yeah? Okay? Good. So let's just fit a model using Minitab. All right? You can do. I mean, you can just follow along using Excel. That's fine, right? But I'm just assuming that you're an expert in Excel, so I'm just using Minitab. Oh, by the way, also for the Minitab, last time when we tried to justify the use of the Minitab among the Fortune 500 companies, about 90% of the companies use Minitab. Okay, I mean, but then they also use Excel. So we use an argument to keep Minitab, but then when you actually go on the job at the non-Fortune 500 companies, in order to be able to use Minitab, you probably have to ask for purchase of the Minitab, right? So you can buy a student version for about $100. So that's not that expensive, right? Now, so if I want to run a regression, I go to statistics, and if there's a regression, and then regression, right? And then my response means just the kind of variable is the trim mile per gallon, and then weight is my predictor variable, okay? And then if you want to do a model diagnostics, what does model diagnostics usually involve? For example, you got scatter plot of your fitted value versus residual kind of thing. It's graph, right? Yeah. So if you want to do model diagnostics, go in and click graph. Okay. Then it's asking, well, you could just, and then you could make a lot of plots, which is regular residual plot, and this is the standardized or studentized. If you want that, you could just click this. Right? And then also, Adam, we discussed yet the last time about the deleted or R studentized residual. And if you want that plotted, you just click this, right? One of these. Yeah.
So that second now normal versus the second one is the probability plot.
Yeah, it gives you normal probability plot of your residual. Yeah. So, and then residual versus the fitting value is what you need. And residual versus order means residual versus, they plot residuals in order of the observation sequence, all right? But usually when you have a, what is called the cross-sectional data like this, the ordering of these observations doesn't mean anything, okay? They just probably report it as they collect the data, right? The only time when it matters is when you have a what is called a time series. times some data, you can reorder them arbitrarily. You cannot, can you? So it's just, you just follow the what? Sequence of the time, right? So you cannot just flip the time around, right? Unless you know how to do time travel, right? Which is cool. Yeah? Yeah, if you can do time travel, why are you here, right? So let's just click this here. And then say, okay. You can read this around like this. Now, what kind of shape this is made? Huh? What kind of shape? This is what you say.
Scoot to
Huh?
yeah, scoot to right.
Skew to the right? Okay, that's good. That's across one, so now you're even, right? Yeah, I kind of have a skew to the right shape. Sort of, right? Yeah, like this. You agree? Yeah? So, this means it's not quite symmetrical. It means that this residual may not be normally distributed. So one thing to remember is that in order to make some sense out of a histogram, you need to have a large number of observations. Okay? Means like 100 to maybe 200,000. So here we only have how many observations? About 45. Okay, so I would make a big deal out of this shape, but still it's kind of how we will skew to the right shape. Oh, this is maybe close to the symmetry. Okay, so this is the histogram. Now you could just minimize it, or you could just bring it out and just get rid of it. Okay, so let me just get rid of it. And then here, residual versus fitted value. And if you use Excel, probably you will be fitted value versus residual, but it doesn't really matter. But then what do you see here, Christine? Just express yourself. I mean, it's based on. It's just like you're at an art gallery, okay? And then this is your artwork.com in cooperation with the Minitab. And then you will have some sort of opinion one way or the other, right?
Looks fairly normally distributed.
Huh?
Looks pretty normally distributed to me.
David, you agree with the opinion? Or you have a different opinion? You're entitled to your own opinion, okay?
I'd say it's normally distributed because they're equally up and down away from the zero.
Maybe some kid? Mike, I asked you a question, right? Did I not? Was it unfair to skip you?
It's very random.
What?
Random.
Pretty much random. Now, for one thing, you cannot, for example, tell it has this pretty much normal or not. I don't know what you mean by normal, but you know, it's not. This does not tell you whether you have a error from normally distributed or not. Okay, we never discussed that. And if you know how you can tell if it's normally distributed or not, I just like know and write a paper about it. Okay, but it's not known yet, so that's like a one slide. So with -1 territory, and then. Sophie says this is pretty much random. You all agree? What is it if you do this word, you all agree, and it says that you're pretty much random scatter?
I disagree.
That's fine, but let's say no, just I'll get back to you, Evan, okay? But say it's always in the eyes of key holder, okay? So if you think of this as pretty much randomly scattered, yeah, it might be randomly scattered, right? But then what's an implication of that based on your observation of it? Huh? If this is pretty much randomly scattered, that means this is an appropriate model. Okay? What you look at a visual plot versus a figure value to see, for example, if this is an appropriate model or not. And then if this was an appropriate model, you should see pretty much a random scatter, all right? Okay? And then now let's put Evan on trial. Okay? Why did you disagree with the rest of the class?
If you look at the data, it looks kind of like it's sloping down and to the right. I think.
I don't know if it's a sloping downwards or not, but watch it carefully, okay? You know what I'm trying to,
Yeah.
what is it I'm trying to deliver, Harry? Huh? Now, if it's a random scatter, you like to see too much uniform or there's a two-point shape over the scatter, right? Yeah, but it seems like you have a kind of increased variability. Okay? All right? That means each assumption is violated. Chris.
The one where you multiply the k times the whole model supposed to stay same.
What is it?
Homoscedasticity.
Yeah, homoscedasticity. What is the homoscedasticity?
The figure values are supposed to be just as far away from the residuals for the figure values are supposed to be just the same distance as the rest of the models. They're not supposed to get larger.
No. You're closer, but those things, by the way. Okay? Now, when we consider this model, we assume that this element has the equal variance regardless of the level of x. Right? That means regardless of the level of the y. Means that it's got the same variability throughout. That's the homoscedasticity. Okay? But then what this seems to tell you is, for larger value of y, you have a more variability than what? Smaller value of y. Okay? Now this is purely based on observation. It could be subjective, and then you could just disagree with me. All right? But if you want to strongly disagree with me, do so after I just submit your final grade. Right?
Can someone maybe see like those couple at the end as like outliers, since there's, or like that one up top, and then if you were to take that one away, it would look a little more equally, like even variability.
Yeah, that's a good point. Then what do you need to do? We need to check for outliers, right? Yeah, okay, you're agree? All right? Okay, then let's do that. So let me just get rid of all this because you know. Well, by the way, this is the normal probability plot given by the Minitab, all right? It's much nicer looking. And then, as you can see, this is the supposed be a straight line where the other points are falling off, but then you know these points and these points are kind of off from it. All right, so this means maybe this is not normally distributed, right? Yeah, this is based on your visual observation, right? But then you do know how to do a formal test, right? Yeah. Well, how do you do a formal test? Angela.
Formal test
Of normality. Yeah.
to use value
Of what?
of
What?
the value.
Anybody remember? Yeah, Evan?
Isn't it like all the data within Six Sigma, airport already?
What's the question?
How do you do a formal test of the normality of these? I mean, see, depending on how you just observe this, somebody may say, well, I guess it's pretty much on a straight line, okay? Others say these are not. that's kind of based on your subjective observation, right? Well, then what is the objective way of testing? You calculate what? Probability of these points on this plot, right?
The R square value?
No. And then calculate the probabilities, and then I gave you a table for the critical values, right? So you just refer to that and do a test, right? This in, I guess, in the chapter 13 notes, okay? So this is like a -3 now. Okay? Anyway, so when I ran regression last time, I just specify all, but then I did not say standard rigid viewers or anything like that. So let's just say those so that you can take a look. So obviously, rigid viewer, standardized viewer, validity viewer. For that matter, what the heck, HI, number, distance, okay? I get the same plot, but then if I look at, for example, standardized rigid viewer, right? Do I have any value more than 3 or less than 3? Like that? Now, if you look at just go down this column, do you see any value more than 3 or less than 3? Huh?
Yeah.
Where?
Well, there's one that there's a 3.29.
Where? Oh yeah. Wow, yeah, so this might be the outline. Right?
Chevy Sprint.
Yeah?
Chevy Sprints.
So it's a Chevy Sprint. You know what the Chevy Sprint is? It's a real small car, right? Yeah? It's supposed to produce a good gas mileage, right? But, you know, and then let's see if this particular vehicle is influential. So this must be the, this one. Maybe it's pointed out, okay? Now,
Toyota Tercel fits in.
so that is that. And I don't think it is the influential variable. So if you want, you can just get rid of this data. Okay? But still, this may have some information contained in it, so I'll just keep it in the data set. And then also, what's nice thing about VTAP, I'm not just
Yeah.
and then I'm not really promoting VTAP, but you know what you can do is go to this plot, click this plot, and then you go to like this thing, and then you just click this point. Okay, then what this tells you is this is like a 13th observation of the 13th row, so you can choose to pick on same thing. Right? What? What? Yeah, this observation is associated with the 13th row that is there.
How do you get to
You just click this brush. Okay? Once you click the brush, you will see this finger pointing pen. Alright? Alright? So, now, let's just do this. The reason I just asked you to look at this data set is I want you to be able to kind of just identify, you know, if you look at this plot, maybe this caused some problems, but still has some problem with the homoscedasticity, right? And then, if you have a problem like this, how we just remedy these problems. is what I'm trying to do, okay? And usually, if you look at your handout, you need to make some sort of transformations, all right? Now, there is a whole lecture or to go through how to actually make a transformation, but simply, you first try to transform y beta, okay? And economists like Chris like to use, for example, log transformation, okay? So if you use log transformation, instead of keeping y, okay? Log y, okay? Now, if you make a log transformation of the data, these quotients as what kind of interpretation? Elasticity. All right. So because of that, economists like to make log transformation, which means you transform your data y into log y and regress log y on x. Okay. So go ahead and do it.
You want us to
Just do it now.
do a log?
Yeah.
Log of the residue?
What?
Log of the what?
Yeah, you have a y variable, and then just make a log transformation. How do you make a log transformation? If you don't know how to do it in Excel, you go to, no, how to do it in Minitab, you go to Excel, and then in Excel, you know how to change it to log, right?
Oh, this was on both sides.
Here's what I'll do. Of course, right? Yeah? Now, then what do? You just go to formula, insert function, and then log must be what kind of function? Math function, right? And then you just go down, and then usually you just make a natural log transformation, that is ln. Alright? So you just click that, and then it's asking the number is in where? In I think E2, right? And then just trigger all. Okay?
What was in the base?
Huh?
You have to remember what was in the base.
You just do ln, that's a natural log. And if you just do a log, it's asking base, but then it's like, I don't know how you could just put base E for that. Okay, so you just do ln, the natural log. Okay? And then you just copy over to, well, you could just use, if you use Excel, you just use Excel. If you want to use your Minitab, you just copy over here. And then make it like a ln MPG, right? What was that, trip? Like that. And then I'll just paste it. Okay? Yeah? Make sense? And then, now, because I'm going to regress log on y, x, maybe it's not a bad idea to just look at another scatter plot of log y versus x, right? Yeah? So, just go to graph, scatter plot, okay, and then now my y variable is log y, and then same x.
Why didn't you natural log way to? Okay.
Why didn't you natural log what?
Natural log x.
because I think it's because the natural log is of the thing that was the x. Like it was natural log b2. I think b was the x before. I think.
Again, what you said.
Wasn't it? Yeah. It's
I'll just copy this.
so okay, it's the natural log of the thing that he put as the original.
As the mouse began, so the natural log of y. Then plot it against the normal independent variable, which is the sort of linear relationship instead of discrete. So because literal is f if p requires
So I'll just make a scale file. So this is like a log y versus a weight. Still the downward trending of the linear regression model. So I'll just fit that model, okay? Goes that regression, then instead of I'll just get everything there. All right, so this is the residual from the model reaching lower y instead of y. And then what do you see compared to the one we had before? This may look a little bit more, less skewed, right? So that means what happens is region we consider low y is just to cure what kind of problem? Heteroscedasticity problem, right? But then as we try to cure that, it might just cure also the squeeze problem, okay? It's kind of a little bit less skewed. And then, what do you see? Huh? Now you don't really see what? Heteroscedasticity problem, right? So you kind of just alleviated that problem. Yeah? But then K might point out, oh, this might be outlying observation. So let's see which one is associated with, right? So now it's associated with the 28th observation. What's the 28th observation? What kind of behavior is that? Can we? So I don't think this is too bad. So, and then if you look at the overall probability plot, this one is the last farming of the violation of the normality, right? So that means when you try to cure one problem, it's kind of start helping to cure other problems too. Okay? So that's also, yeah.
Because they're all kind of in the eye of the beholder, like on an exam, if you're to ask something like this, if we see it differently than you might see it, as long as we explain it, does that work?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I want. I don't want to see exactly the same thing I see, right? They really tightly feel on people. Or sometimes people like to use square root transformation, okay? And usually they use a square root transformation when you have like a counting data, okay? So, like for example, number of passengers, kind of thing. And then for this one, you can also use this is transformation of reciprocals. Okay? So let's just see the model using 1 over y instead of y. Okay? So why don't you just manipulate your data in Excel and move it over?
That's 1 over y.
Or this is how
1
you
over
can do it. So, this is 1 over y. Okay? And then this is how you can do the tab is also using your common sense, all right? You need to calculate 1 over y from y, right? Yeah? Then which button do you think you need to use? Huh? Yeah, this is like a calculator. So I just click this button. And then if, for example, y is 37, then what is your 1 over y? Then how would you get it? You use your calculator, right? Yeah, you cannot do it in your head, right? So what do you do? Just click calculator. All right? And then it's asking storage of the variable or what. So I'm just going to store that in column label C27, so you just say C27. Okay? And then what is the expression? Right? Yeah?
So how do you get it? They're not trying to get minus 226, but how do you get it? You just click on it?
No, just click it and then type it in. Okay, so you just click here, then type it in. Yeah? Now, I'm getting a reciprocal of the second column, so your expression will be just 1 over C2. Right? It's like a 1 over y. My y is in C2. Okay? Then if you say okay, then you just create that value. Now, if this is kind of too complicated, what you can do, you can always go back and use your Excel and copy over, right? Yeah? Or don't bother to use it, you need that out. Okay? So now I'm just going to just regress 1 over y on this, but then I just want to just make sure that they could have a linear relationship, so I'll just need to make a
Can you go through this part kind of slow? I'm not getting the same outputs as you've been getting. So I just want to see you go through it a little bit slower.
Well, I would say go ahead and use Excel, but calculate.
No, not that. No, I'm sorry, not that part. The regression model that you're about to do. I'm not getting the same outputs on my regression model.
And I'll just go slowly on this, so you just see.
Yeah, that's
click on the
would be
right
great.
buttons, okay? But let's just make a scalar plot first. So now I'm just using 1 over y as my dependent variable, so I'll just do 1 over y versus weight. Okay? Then here's the scalar plot. Now you have your upward trend, right? Why is that, Evan?
I don't know.
And then Harry?
What's that, sir?
That's minus 10, okay? So, well, see, when we look at the scalar plot, y versus weight, it was like a downward trend, right? Now, if you look at 1 over y versus weight, now it's kind of some upward trend, right? Yeah? And then, so based on this, we could just fit a straight line model. So let's just go ahead and fit it.
Did I get you?
So go to stat, okay?
I'll
Regression.
get you one after class.
Regression. And then now my y variable is what? 1 over y. X variable is weight. Go to graph. Then make sure that that is checked. Okay? And then for the regression diagnostics, you want to save the option, storage, and then you want to store this. Okay? And then if you say okay, okay. What kind of shape is this? To the left, right? So which kind of just makes sense when you look at the usually of Y, you have a skew to the right, and now you have a skew to the left, right? You see this simple? What about this one?
There's the outline.
The
Huh?
outliers on the bottom.
Yeah, you may have an outlier on the bottom, right? So let's see which observation this is. What is this? 28th observation, so Chemnitz, right? Yes, Chemnitz is the problem, right? So let's just go down to the 28th observation and see what the is saying.
Actually, if you just put the cruiser on that dot, they'll have all the data out.
But then, student size is residual, and then, it is kind of just on the border, so it's not really bad outlier, besides, I don't think it's really influential, so. Okay? But at least, in this case, versus Y, you don't have a violation of homoscedasticity, right? You have a pretty much uniform variability, right? And then you get the more probability plot, this doesn't look as bad as the case we used Y. All right? So that means here you have two competing models, right? One is based on log Y, and then the other one is based on 1 over Y. Yeah? Which one would you choose? Sam, wake up. Which one would you choose? Huh?
I'm not sure.
Right, yeah? Why? Okay, that's reasonable. Dongyan? Why? Because of bye-bye?
I'm gonna take a stab. 1 over Y.
No. You've been stabbed enough, so you need to go to our emergency. So Lindsay, take a hit on his lemon speed. Let's stab.
Well, I see 1 over Y to be positively.
Does model selection criteria you have two competing models, right? You need to select one of them, then what do you need to go by? Model selection criteria, right? In terms of parsimony, we have pi, right? Because they all use one independent variable, right? Yeah? Then next thing you need to look at is what? R squared, right? Or just R squared, doesn't matter because you have the same number of variable independent variable. So what is the R squared of this model when you use log?
Sorry, what is parsimony?
What?
The parsimony.
Ask May, she knows.
Wait, what is parsimony?
May know, right? Yes, Alan?
All things being the same, choose the simpler model.
What does parsimony mean? It's like a GMAT vocabulary test.
Less is better.
Or it's like a frugal. Longer. Yeah? Is that correct? Jennifer? Yeah? So that means like if you have a equally good model, one has only one dependent variable and the other has two dependent variables, then based on parsimony, you choose the model with only what? Only different years. Okay? So here you got the same number, so. So what was the R square of this model? So R square of this ladder model is about 82.9%. Okay, and then R square of the log model is about 82.8%. Okay, so which one's better? Well, by the way, you cannot really look at mean square errors. Why is that? Because your dependent variables in different scales, right? One is a log and the other one is y. So you cannot really compare mean square error against mean square in this case. Now, so in this case, R square is about the same, right? Yeah? So because of that, it doesn't really matter which model you choose, okay? However, between the two, one of the models gives you better interpretation of your variables, okay? When you take a square, yeah.
Is there a question on that? Did you just do ln mpg versus weight? I thought it was just do ln mpg versus ln weight.
No, I'm just doing LNMP versus LN. You can also try that too. Okay?
Okay.
Now, if this thing doesn't work, okay, when we just transform y variable in many different ways, and if it still doesn't work, then you might want to also consider transforming x too. All right? So here, when I just transform the y, it seems to be working fine, then why bother? Right? Okay? Did you hear me? What I'm saying?
Yeah, I was asking him, it doesn't change your data though when you are transforming y, so I'm just a little confused on how you can like transform your data and still come up with something that's giving you correct.
Yeah, so if you voted to predicting y, then once you get a predicted value of like a log of y or 1 of y, then you have to transform it back to the original scale, okay? But my point is, log y in this case is kind of not easy to interpret what exactly it is. But then 1 over y, you have a very nice interpretation. What is that? Remember, y is a mile per gallon, right?
Oh,
So if you flip it, it is going to be what? Gallon per mile. So, you know, when you measure the efficiency, you can measure how many miles it can go per gallon, right? But then also, if it's a mile per gallon, gallon per mile, you know, it just tells you, you know, per mile how much it takes, right? Yeah. So probably I'll just go with this model. 1 over y equals simply the regression model. And but if you go to predict the mile per gallon instead of gallon per mile, then once you get a gallon per mile, you just get a reciprocal of that to get a mile per gallon, right? Okay. So let's just stick with this model. Now, what next? Yeah.
Because we're only using two variables. So do you do the same type of diagnostic when you have multiple regressions?
Of course, yes. Which means, this is the data set you're given, and then maybe R square of 82.9% is not good enough, then you could just start introducing more and more independent variables to improve your R square, right? Without sacrificing too much of parsimony. So what I can use is the displacement. Well, what it is what? Dennis.
Displacement?
Yeah.
I don't know.
One day, Dennis was wearing a shirt that looks like an auto mechanic shirt. So I thought Dennis knows what the displacement is. It's just engine size, okay? Okay, so someday should Dennis, who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I thought you kind of knew. Displacement is the engine size in liters, okay? So this is like a 1.8 liter, 2.2 liter, and so on. And then this cylinder is the number of cylinders, like a 4 cylinder, 6 cylinder, and so on. Okay? And then HP is the horsepower of the engine. Okay? Now, if you think about it, number of cylinder will be probably very closely correlated with the displacement, right? If you have like, for example, more cylinders, it's just like you like to have a large engine, right? And then they tend to have more cylinders and so on. So potentially, if you use these variables together, you may run into what kind of problem? If your independent variables are highly correlated among themselves, what kind of problem? Yeah, multi-collinearity problem, right? So that you need to watch out. And then here I gave you a number of cylinders to be 4, 6, and then 8. So you could just treat it as if this is what kind of variable? Quantitative variable, but that may not be the right approach. Okay, because 4, 6, 8, they have numeric values assigned to it, but they're just basically pretty low. Categorical variable. Okay, 4 cylinder, 6 cylinder, 8 cylinder, which means it might be better if you just treat this as a categorical variables. Categories and then includes what? Dummy variables. How many dummies? If you have the data set with only 4, 6, 8 cylinder, you just can uniquely introduce what? Two dummies, right? Okay? Yeah, so maybe.
There's a car that has 3 cylinders.
What?
Chevy Sprint only has 3 cylinders.
Yeah, then one more dummy.
I've never seen one of those.
I don't think they sold
Okay?
It's a Geo Metro is what it amounts to.
Now, just, somebody asked me to do a review session, but we're kind of just doing a review session today, so. And then transmission is 0 is the automatic, no, manual, and then 1 is automatic. So this is already set up so that this is like a dummy variable for transmission, right? Transmission in this case has 2 types. It's already got 0 and 1. You don't really need to introduce variable unless you want to use automatic as your baseline, right? If you want to use the automatic as a baseline, you need to flip zeros and ones, right? Now, these days, you also have your automatic transmission that can be shiftable, right?
Yeah.
Because you're all used to driving clunkers, you don't know what that is. Once you get your first paycheck and then buy a new car, you might end up buying an automatic transmission that is shiftable. Then you have another category, right? So if this data was taken and you get another category, then you need to introduce how many dummies? 2 dummies, right? And number of gears and size type is like a some is like a small, medium, full size, minivan, and all that. Okay? And then origin means whether it's a foreign manufacturer or domestic manufacturer.
Okay, so when we did the reciprocal and we said that it could be like miles per gallon or gallons per mile, what if you had your Y variable as something that was just like money? Then how would that
Well, that needs to be seen.
Okay.
Okay, so suppose, well, this will be an interesting problem. I just always want to kind of what is, when you go buy a new automobile, right? You often wonder, how they price that car. Okay, so people will say, well, usually car with the more cylinders are expensive. Automatic tends to be expensive. One with the usually large, not necessarily, but large engine tends to be expensive. One with the turbocharged tends to be expensive, and so on. So you might wonder, how we can just build a model to come up with the regional price of an automobile, right? Based on all these variables. In that case, your Y variable is the money, right? But unless you are convinced after just fitting a model and you need transformation, I cannot, say how to interpret it. So in that case, if you end up using 1 over Y, okay, 1 over dollar figure, how to interpret it, I don't know. Okay, but you need to do that. Okay, so usually in that context, probably you will end up using local transformation, more likely, and then maybe you also need to make a local transformation and some of X variables there, so that you have like a elasticity equal to right, Chris? Am I getting you to do this? Typical guy, so. Okay, so are you all good? Yeah, so this is all I can say to you, although I'm really sorry that I have to skip some of the chapters, which is very important for you to know. You can just learn on your own, because I taught you enough basics so that you just pick up advanced statistics material. Okay? Yes, Jennifer?
Would you be willing to do like a study session or a review session?
Why?
Well,
Because we want to get good grades.
if it's a cumulative finals, I mean, you said this was kind of a review session, but not for the old stuff.
But then I ask you a lot of more stuff too. While you're out, smoking.
I go to the bathroom.
Smoking, right? What other exams you have next week? All the good courses. When's your econ exam?
3 hours after.
3 hours, yeah. What about accounting?
Well, there's a lot of stuff going on. You
Okay.
have blame me for
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, just, she pointed out number of years, although you said 435, it could be categorical, right? So you might be safer if you introduce the dummy variable instead of the Oh, yeah, after that, you may need to consider interaction. Interaction between your quantitative variable versus dummies, and then also all these variables too. Okay, things will get really complicated if you want to just come up with a really good model. Okay. No, you can be also between the category too. All right. Now, so Wednesday is your last day.
Yeah, so we do the review session next Thursday.
So
I'm free on Thursday, that works.
We have a review session for accounting tomorrow from 10 to 12. We could do it.
let's just do it this way. You promise to be honest. You promise to be honest. I know some of you are not being.
I think it's 3 days.
I'll just give you a take-home exam. Oh, then you can come in and take the exam, okay? Since you didn't believe me, Lindsay. I will distribute that exam on Wednesday morning via the email, okay? But you must turn that in by noon Thursday. What? Then I'll give you Wednesday morning, and so you just finish it Wednesday morning and then be gone, right? You have what time is our exam schedule? Yeah, so just I'll just probably distribute around like an 8 or 9 a.m. So you'll have about 3 hours to finish it. And if it takes more than 3 hours to finish it, then probably you won't be able to do it anyway. So I'll just send it out around 9 o'clock, okay? But you don't want to probably just work on it before your big econ exam, right?
Yeah.
So, but then it should give you enough time to finish it by noon Thursday.
After safety stuff done.
Now, if you give me late, even if like a 1/100th of seconds late, you will get a 0 on it.
Okay. Where do you want it? In your office?
Yeah.
After savings, you're awesome like that.
Oh, by the way, that office will be closed. So, but I'll be in my office. So you just bang the office really hard, or just call my office so that I can be waiting for you. I think you will be gone. Or just slide on the. Oh yeah. You could just slide under the boat. Just don't bother me, okay? I don't want.
Under that big main door.
Right. Okay. Now, here's another thing. I can tell. See, this time there's no TA to help me grading, so I'll have to grade. And then when I grade it, if I just notice that somebody collaborating with others, both of them will get an F on the course, okay? So I don't want you to talk about the exam. Once you get your exam, do it absolutely independently, all right? Make sense? And honestly. Lindsay, you don't believe me, so I want you to see me at 10 o'clock Wednesday here, right? So I don't have to run a review session, right? That's the in exchange for no review session.
Can we still get a example exam like we have for the first two?
Why do you need an example exam?
To practice.
Why do you need to you practice without actual exam? Why?
We have a practice exam, so we can ask questions about practice exam.
You have a practice exam?
Or at least like the practice problem side of it, so that we can check and see what we're doing.
Yeah, maybe on PH stat.
I'll see if I can find practice exam. But so if I have it, I'll just send it to you. But the thing is, the past ones we have different coverages. So if you get that, you might get confused about it, whether you didn't know how to do it because you didn't cover it or you didn't know it, right? So, but anyway, I'll see if I can send them to you by tomorrow. Then you can just ask me a question about that. But also make sure you go over what we did today, yes, Tuesday, and then the assignment I gave back to you, and also the assignment we brought to me, hard copy one. Okay. Oh, by the way, for the hard copy one also, the office door will be closed, locked, so I want you to just slide on the door on Tuesday, right? Anything else? I just hope that you all have a good holidays and be a successful for you in this MBA program and down the road. Okay, I don't know what you want to do, Chris, but I wish you success too. Okay, and I enjoy teaching you class, and then probably there isn't going to be any more 591 class in classroom. So you'll probably all go online. So you're very special because you kind of the last batch of this classroom in 591. How you view it?
There's a pause.
Life matters, right? I view very special. All right, any other question or comment?
Would you like us to turn in the practice data set stuff that we did?
Oh, yeah. So why don't you collect those and
Hard copy.
oh, you
and the
didn't
practice.
send my email. Okay, anything else? Okay, so I guess this is it.
Thank you.
You want some candy, Japanese candy?
Sure. Well, we didn't come to-
They signed last class period.
So now I can work. So they can.
What's going to look after the exam?
Yes.